Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be going over the M&P Delta Force PL1 penlight. Last year I did an overview of the Delta Force PL1 laser penlight. We're going to be going over the similarities and differences of both models. Let's start out with the differences. One of the differences with these models here, especially the PL1 AAA penlight, is that it uses a Cree XP-E2 LED emitter, whereas the laser penlight uses a Cree XP-G2 emitter light. So what that means is the lumen outputs is going to be slightly different. This has 105 lumen outputs, and this model has 130 output. Another difference is due to the different Cree model in here, you're going to get a runtime of approximately 1 hour and 20 minutes with this penlight versus 64 minutes approximately with this penlight, the PL1. So that is one set of differences there. Another difference is the type of battery housing that each unit has. The PL1 features a AAA housing, much like the laser part. However, the PL1 includes something that the laser doesn't have, and that is a spring-loaded battery compartment. This is important because this creates a sort of resistance when you screw into the threads here. You get some sort of friction going along with that due to the spring. Therefore, it makes this penlight a little bit more resilient to accidentally being turned on or coming loose. Whereas the laser penlight includes no such spring in it, so it is quite loose when it comes to screwing on to the threads here. One of the fixes that I've done and that I've gotten on the internet is to put a small amount of tape here, this is plumber's tape, to create friction along the threads, so therefore creating a tighter fit for the on and off activation of the switch here. Another obvious difference is the addition of a laser in the laser penlight model, and obviously there's no laser penlight here, so there's a size difference. This is a little bit smaller and shorter as well versus the penlight here. Another difference would be the smooth matte finishing on this, which is a little bit more reflective, versus the dull matte finishing on here. So one has a little bit different of a finish with the hard anodized aluminum versus the other. Another difference would be the weight. This is slightly heavier due to the laser module, and this is a little bit lighter. This is also touted as being waterproof to approximately 1 meter according to the packaging, whereas this is not being touted as waterproof to 1 meter. I have tested the waterproof of the laser light, and it does seem to function in the water. Although I wouldn't call it waterproof, I'd call it more a weather-resistant light. One thing I did notice is that when you do put this in the water, the laser cover here will get water in it, and it'll be hard to use the laser function once it's wet. You'll have to find a way to dry out that cavity there. If you can't do it, your laser is pretty useless. I have not tested out the waterproofing on this, but I will presume that it is weatherproof, at least to some degree, and water resistant. And I say that because each of the sections, much like the laser pen light, has a small little O-ring on each of the sections. This light, much like the laser pen light, comes in 3 different sections. They both have a retractable pen tip, and they both use a Schmidt P900 refillable ink cartridge, so they're interchangeable. That is a good thing. I'll screw that back together there. And they both come apart in several different sections. This is the second section right here. And the final section is the one we looked at before, which is the battery compartment, which comes apart here on the top. They both feature a clip, although the another difference would be this has a removable clip, and this one seems or appears to be built into the actual battery compartment here. So you can remove a clip on this and you can't remove it on this. Now out of the box, what my opinion is on both of these and recommendations on which one you should get or maybe you could get. I would recommend, based on the price and the practicality, depending on what you're generally doing, I would get this model, the regular penlight. It does have less lumen outputs by about 25 lumens. It does use a different Cree emitter, which is less efficient on the runtime by about 16 minutes or so approximately. But the price on this is approximately $16 on eBay versus about 30 something dollars on eBay for this light here. You might be able to get it for $28 on a website if it's on sale. I feel that $30 for a pen like this that has some sort of not a very good turn on and turn off feature on it is not worth the money of $300. I feel like that, not $300, $30, excuse me. I feel like this is more of a practical buy, being at $15 to $16. It is a bit pricey for a pen, but then again, you're getting a multi-utility tool. They both feature a DNA retention type of design, where if you stab somebody with the tool, the pen, you will be able to retain some of their blood DNA for identification purposes. So that is pretty good. They both pretty much fill the tactical role where they can write pretty decently. I mean, that's the whole function of a pen, is to write. As you can see, that writes well, and so does the laser pen light. So they both write similar, and they both use the same black ink cartridges. They're both made out of an aluminum, hard anodized aluminum, so it's not like you're getting cheaper quality for the lower priced one. You're just not getting the type of emitter that you would get in the more expensive one, the XPG emitter versus the XPE2. So other than that, they're pretty much the same pen. The writing balance on this is a little bit better than the writing balance on this, obviously, because you have a laser module which does add counterbalance weight to it. This one feels a little bit more natural to hold in the hand. And I feel that with the inclusion of the spring in the battery compartment, you're getting a more resilient switch, mechanical switch, I suppose. It's not the best type of on and off switch system. I would like to see like maybe a click on where it holds it in place, and a click off where it also holds it in place to prevent accidental activation. I have noticed when I wear these pens with the clips on it, sometimes the head gets turned a little bit in my pocket and it might activate the light without me seeing, and I'll have a dead light by the time I go to use it. Let's do a little comparison with the beams here, just so you can see. This is not the best background to work on, but they both have a similar color output tint. I'm filming at 3.5 aperture by 24 fips. I have a custom temperature light rating on the camera. I don't remember exactly, but it should be around 4,500 or so. So you can kind of see the 105 lumen on my left and the 130 lumen on my right. So the differences, it's kind of hard to see with the naked eye, but in terms of the runtime, you'll start seeing a difference. I noticed that the throw on this, or rather the spill, is a little bit larger than the spill on this. They both have sort of a spot flood type mixture due to the reflectors inside the lights. They do have a smooth reflector. The lens, if you will, for lack of a better term, is plastic, and it does include a hole in the center for the LED itself to shoot out from. So that is the difference there. They're both similar tint colors, very close anyway, right outside the factory box here. I wouldn't necessarily call this a good light for high color rendering at all. It's just a tool to see what you're doing in an emergency, or if you're working on something. That would be the more practical use for this pen here. Overall, I think they're decent pens for writing and a light function. I would like to see the better turn on and off feature in both of them, but the PL1 non-laser version does include that spring, which creates a resistance on the thread, which is nice. So it kind of solves the issue a little bit with the laser light model. You could put tape around the threads on here to theoretically create more resilience and resistance, so it doesn't accidentally turn on. That's up to you. But overall, I think out of the box it's fine to use for my needs anyway. But that's all I have to say about the penlight. I like these penlights. I've been using this one for a year, and it's worked out pretty well in my ham radio go bag. I look forward to using this in my upcoming EDC bag, which I'll film later on when I get all the parts in. But for now, thanks for watching, and I hope you got a better idea of what the Delta Force PL1 light is.